My Star Wars hot take is that I don't think the inhibitor chips in the clones are that great of an idea. If you've watched Star Wars Episode 3, you know how the climactic moment of the Jedi's downfall comes from Palpatine executing Order 66, which basically states that the Jedi have gone rogue and to eliminate all traitors. And later down the line in the Clone Wars TV show, they decided to add this plotline about how all the clones were secretly installed with inhibitor chips that would brainwash them into facilitating Order 66. The reason I don't really like this change in the lore is because I feel like it undermines Star Wars' story as a warning to the covert rise of fascism. Palpatine's designs are surrounded by very realistic tactics that historically have led to the creeping takeover of authoritarian power, victimizing himself as propaganda to make the Jedi look evil, using the panic of conflict as a way to give central leadership access to emergency powers, and in the case I'm discussing today, using his well-bred soldiers as a means for violent takeover. I think when you take the fascism angle of Star Wars, the idea that the clones simply followed orders from their higher-ups is genuinely terrifying. Just following orders, as we remember, was one of the main defenses of Nazis being charged with war crimes, and for a more modern example, American politicians are constantly reminding their military personnel that they, quote, can and must refuse illegal orders. The clones themselves, when bred on Kamino, are born to be more obedient than their template, and oftentimes their identities are reduced down to that of expendable soldiers.
No, they are doing their job, then we can do ours.
Is this not a parallel to the military training and conditioning of personnel to become obedient tools that simply follow chain of command? That process also makes the clones susceptible to believing any propaganda their commanding officers give them, which leads to the genocide of an entire people, including women and children. But introducing the inhibitor chips makes it so the clones are also victims with no agency, when the story is so much more effective when the clones theoretically could have chosen a different path, but through their conditioning and environment choose to obey war crime orders instead. I get why the inhibitor chips were added, because Star Wars' expanded universe did too good of a job of humanizing and making the clones sympathetic characters, so while I appreciate what they did within the confines of the universe, I just feel like as a means to tell the story of the rise of fascism, the inhibitor chips were not really that good of an idea.